Maybe this is working. Okay, it says that I'm live. So, hey everybody, according to OBS and YouTube, I'm live. So, I'm live streaming right now. First time officially here for the channel, so who knows what's going to happen? I've got no net, right? So, today I wanted to take you through building a new web page for one of my drone clients. So, over on this screen, we've got azdrone.net. I'm already logged in. And so I've gotten a lot of reaction and responses to, I've been doing private pages for clients where they can log in and check their progression reports. So we send out a link to a single page, and that single page represents a month. So with the folks that we're talking about today, we've been working with them since July. So we did a July video in August, a September, October. You get the idea. Each month I actually send them a single web link with a password. What I'd like to do is create a page that warehouses all of those for them so they have one easy point so they don't have to go back through their emails and find the July page or find the August or find the September. So I've still been refining this, and like I said, I've had people regularly getting in touch who want to do the custom pages like I'm doing them. Number one, I'm using WordPress and Xtheme. You don't have to use WordPress and Xtheme. There are other platforms out there, and I'm sure you can do similar things. So this is just to give you an idea of how this works. So I'm going to keep looking over to my right occasionally um, because I actually have the live stream window up. So like I said, this is my first time doing this, so this is new, this is neat. And I didn't announce this or anything because I just wanted to try it out. So, and then looking over on this screen, this is where we'll be doing the work. So I'm already logged into azdrone.net, and let's go to the dashboard really quick. And I'm going to show you what I was just talking about with, that I've made a bunch of pages for CW builders, and I'd like to make a place to warehouse them all. So I'm just waiting for WordPress to catch up here, maybe with the streaming going on. Maybe this is going to slow things down a little bit. So I'm going to go down to my pages here. And so this is the WordPress interface. If you don't know a bunch about WordPress, that's okay. I do have other videos up here on the channel talking about building things with WordPress. But here we go. So I've got multiple pages for Clark Wayland, also known as CW Builders. So we've got their initial Clark Wayland 2D map demo. So I did some demos for them as well. And then you can see we've got the Clark Wayland project start, and that was published in July. So that's the first one. And then we've got August, and we've got September down here. And you'll notice that we've got a bunch of things with password protected. So one of the things, you can build web pages that are private and password protected so only your clients can get to them, or you can open them up to the world to let everyone see. They didn't ask for these to be password protected, but I've just made a habit out of it with them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a main page that houses links to all these sub pages. Like I said, we're working with no net right now, so screw ups might happen. So what I want to do is create a new page that's going to hold all these. So I'm just going up to new, and I'm going to go to page, and we're going to call this page CW Builders reports 2019 2020. All right, so I'm just setting up an initial page name. I'm not going to put anything in the editor area because I'm going to be using Xtheme for doing these edits, and we'll see how that goes. Over on the right hand side, I am going to grab a parent page, and that parent page is Prescott Drone Progression, and we're going to go with no container, header, and footer. So I'm expecting mostly, if anyone's going to be watching this, it's folks who are probably over on the Patreon channel or who've been following along with this channel. And yeah, so if you're new to the channel, this is something completely different, just like the live stream, something completely different. I'm going to go down and set a featured image for this page. I'm just going to grab something from, there we go, grab one of those as the featured image. And now I see set featured images here. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this page. Now the rest of the world's not going to be able to see this page yet because I haven't linked it in the menus or anything. But I published it so that I could get over to Pro. So this is where if you're new to WordPress and Xtheme, Xtheme is a very interesting builder that builds on top of WordPress so that you can create highly customized web pages. So normally you start by setting up a page in WordPress and then you use either Xtheme or Xtheme Pro to do the edits and make the cool layout. Sorry. Boy, this is going to be really interesting with the no edits thing. So I'm going to go in here with Pro really quick. So we're making this, holder for all of the other pages basically. And we can create templates, which I'm probably going to create a template as we go along with this. But right now, here's what the page looks like. Not much going on there. Over on the left-hand side, I do have a thing called Add a Section. So I'm creating a section in here for the page layout. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to make a big wide area. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let's delete that one. And let's start again. Let's go to layout and we're going to go to section 1. And I would actually like to use the little inspector here. Let's see, so we've got section 1. We don't have any rows or anything yet. And then we can do section 2. Yeah, live stream, how interesting. So I'm definitely throwing myself off with this for the moment. What I want to do is go in here and we're going to add a row. There we go. And I think what I would like to do is we're going to make this nice even 2 columns to start with. And up in that section area, I would like to put some kind of background image. So let's go over here. We've got a lot of images going on, but I'm looking for an image that's somewhat opaque that I've used on other headers. So I'm just going through my media library and I'm not being rushed about it. Let's keep going here. We're just looking for one of the images that I've used before for this particular project and not finding it at the moment. So let's go ahead and, oh, there it is right there. I went past it. My apologies. Insert. So now we've got this nice background going on. So I had gone over to the main layout for this section and added an image. I'm going to get better at this live streaming, I promise. And so now I can put some text in here afterwards. So I'm just going to do a text box in here right now. And we're going to CW Builders Progression Pages. So since we're putting a bunch of pages under there, let's give that a heading 1. There we go. So that's nice and large. So I can type today. Just putting some filler information, and I'm going to go back through and work on this afterward. Like I said, this is just a test for live streaming to see how it works. So far, so good. I'm going to go down to the left-hand corner and hit the save button. So Xtheme is kind of a very interesting way to create custom pages. When you're in the Xtheme editor, they call it Cornerstone. That's their special name for it. And there's a lot of widgets and toys in here that you can play with. With that said, it takes a little while to get used to Xtheme. So there's a lot of tutorials out there, some good classes out there on using Xtheme. The bigger part here is that I'm just showing through for other drone pilots that there are ways to create these customized pages for your clients too. I'm going to go back up to the layout and we're going to keep this really simple. So there's section 1 and I'm just going to relabel that header. And there shouldn't be anybody watching this stream anyway, so I'm going to go with a full layout on this one. And so there we are. We've got an area that we would like to put something in. So one of the things that a lot of these packaged website builders do is they give you a lot of plugins. They give you a lot of tools to work with. In the case of Xtheme, one of the tools that they provide me is a thing called Essential Grid. And Essential Grid is awesome. You can make some really nice blocked layouts with it. And you can actually pull from other pages, or you can make videos as well. So if you wanted a collection of YouTube videos and put that onto a web page, you could use Essential Grid to do that. So I'm going to save this page, and up on the top bar, I'm opening up a new tab, and I'm just going back to azdrone.net because I want to keep this page that I'm building up for myself. But I need to go create an essential grid to warehouse all of those pages that I did for CW Builders. So I'm going to go to AZ Drone. I'm going to go down to the dashboard. And wow, no pressure doing a live stream at all. Let's scroll down here. And I'm going to grab Essential Grid. So this is the tool that I use that can make these nice grid layouts. And we're going to create a new Essential Grid. And then we're going to insert that grid into that web page. So we're going to call this grid CW Builders main. And we're going to do the same thing. Main. All right. So there's our shortcode for that. And now it's going to want to know our source. And our source is going to be from some pages. So I need to go and actually select those pages. So this is the Essential Grid Builder. First thing that you do is you start off giving it a name. Then you tell it, where am I getting my information from? Where am I getting the stuff that I'm going to put into this grid? So you can do posts, pages, global blocks. So they've got multiple places where you can grab your grids, your grid sources. Like I said, you could even take your YouTube channel and pop all your different YouTube videos into an essential grid. So if you want to show off some of your YouTube work for your drone business, you can do that. So I'm going to use pages here for the source, and then I need to select my pages. So I'm going to actually be looking for the Clark Wayland work that we've been doing. So there we go, Clark Wayland Flight 1, and our project start. And then we've got August, December. We will work on getting these into the proper order later. And let's grab that one too. So we're going to add selected here. And so now the content that's going to be filling into the grid is coming from these pages. So pretty cool. Let's scroll down toward the bottom. Actually, before we do anything else from that source, I'm going to hit Save Grid. So there we go. The grid was saved successfully. And now it's bringing us back to our named area. And let's see. So we have a couple of pages that I built that clearly I did not do a featured image on the main page. That's why there's no images coming up in these. So I'm going to have to make some notes for myself and go back and add featured images. As you can see further down for each month, there we go. February's got a featured image. January's got a featured image. October and November. So I'm going to have to go through and fix the other ones that I didn't have a cool setup for. Now, you also see what the grid's going to look like when we're looking at the main essential grid. You can change the look and feel of the grids. So what I'm going to do, we already did source, and I'm going to go over to grid settings. And we're going to go with, we could do boxed, full width, full screen. I like the masonry layout, but that's just me. And then also in these grids, you can tell it, how many blocks do you want in each row? And it goes all the way down to mobile. So Essential Grid lets you really super fine tune this stuff. Like I said, this is a by the seat of my pants live stream, so first time going around. And hey, so I've got two folks who said hi. Sorry, Sorry, I'm not looking over there. So let me see. Good morning. Sorry about that, guys, if I'm not looking over enough. I'm just, since you're on here, I'm winging it today. I'm trying a first live stream, and I'm working on building a new container website for one of my clients who we've been doing custom web pages for each month. And so I wanted to put all of the progression reports for CW builders under one main roof. So I've built a new page, and now I'm putting an essential grid into that. So that's what's going on. So scrolling down here, I'm not going to change anything else. We're not going to super fine tune it right now. I'm going to go back up to not the grid settings, but I want to go over to skins because I would like to have it look a little different. So Essential Grid also offers you all these different layout skins. So when you're building a grid, you've got a ton of options, plus you can customize these skins as well. So, and they give them all these little names. So we've got Washington with a title. Next one over, we've got a link and a view with a title and an excerpt. So it actually takes an excerpt out of the page, which is really cool. We've got one that flips over. So we've got all sorts of different grid layouts that are offered by Essential Grid, which comes with the X theme. And we've got our title here and when it was published. And we've just got a ton of these things to look through. So customizing it is huge, and you've got a lot of opportunities. So we're looking at the skins right now, and we've got a 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4, 5, 6. We've got a lot of layouts we can use. Let's go look at the Essential Grid second page, and let's see what this is looking like. So when we point at these, we can actually go in and look at it. We can link to something. It'll pull the title, and it'll pull an excerpt from the page. It's pretty crazy. Let's scroll down here a little more and see. All right, so like this final one here, the grant one, it actually is going to show the title, show the date, and give an excerpt. So you know what? I think I'm going to choose that one. And so it's telling me, please wait. Once again, this might be going slower because we're live streaming as we're doing this. So I'm going to hit Save Grid again and go back up to the top. And I would just like to look back at the beginning where we started out here. And like I said, so I screwed up on some of my original pages that I built. I forgot to put a featured image in. And when you put the featured image in, something like Essential Grid will pull that featured image and put it into this cool grid view. So I'm going to have to go back and fix those things afterwards. So as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do, let's remove Project Start. Let's remove number 1, and let's remove August. So how do we do that? I'm going back up to the source. And so we're going to remove Flight 1. We're going to remove Project Start, and we're going to remove August. I'm going to go over here and hit Save again. And now that I've saved that, let's scroll down, because it always gives us our crazy little preview down here. So you can see those aren't showing up as removed yet, but they will. So if I do a refresh afterward, they should. All right, so we've got our grid. I'm going to go over to grid settings again. So we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4. So for some reason, it still hasn't cleared those out. That might be a caching issue. So sorry about that. And I'm not going to keep this one going too much longer. This is just a test. And if I like the way that this looks on screen afterward, then we might start doing some more of these where we can do some drone tutorials and where we can do some of the web building tutorials for drone pilots so that you can do some of these customizations for your own clients as well. So let's go back and make sure. So this is CW Builders main. So before I play with the grid anymore, I'm going to go back over to the main page where we were building for this. I'm going to go to the lower right hand or left hand corner, and I'm saving this again. And I'm just going to take a preview of what the page is looking like so far. So far, it just has that top banner area and nothing else going on because we didn't put anything into the second section. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go to my Pro menu, and we're going to edit with Xtheme Pro again. And we're going to pop that grid in there. So here we go. We're waiting for it. This is definitely a lot slower with the live stream going on. So my second section, I just put a blank container in there. I'm going to click on that, and I would like to use the classic essential grid over here. So I'm just dragging it on, and over on the left-hand side, now that I've dragged that element on, I can hit a drop down and hit CW Builders Main, which is the new grid I've created, and we're going to hit save on that again down in the lower left corner. So just waiting for it to give me the notification that it's all set and done. There, it says that it's awesome and the content is saved. And I'm opening up a new tab because I want to view it. So let's see if it fixed these things. All right, so it fixed some of them. I don't like the layout perfectly, so I can go back into Essential Grid and play with some more in there. What I am seeing though, so the ones that I had with featured images when I first started building the page have filled in the images, so that's great. And they've also filled in some excerpts. So as you see down here, we've got excerpts from each page. Maybe this isn't the best grid layout choice. It's not the best grid layout choice, but I'm going to have to play around with it and figure out what I want it to look like. So like I said though, Essential Grid has so many different layouts for us. There's our grid settings, and right now when we were looking at the page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 featured items, and if I look at that grid, I told it to have 5. I'm going to reduce that to 4, and let's hit the save button again. And now that I've reduced it to 4, I'm going back up to the other tab again, and I'm hitting refresh. Since we saved that grid, let's see when it opens up. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So apparently on December of 2019, I also forgot to put a featured image in there. I can go back into that Essential Grid, and let's go over to the skins again. And maybe we don't want that big fill-in, excerpt that we had on there. Maybe we'd like to have it simpler. So let's look. We've got just a title. I think we want a little more to it. So I'm going to the second page of Essential Grid here. And I want to avoid the excerpt. Like I said, you can also create your own skins for Essential Grid. So you can customize this all day long. So there we go. We've got to read more. I actually like that with Grant. So we're going to pick that one. So I've now selected that Grant as the one that we're going to be using. And I'm going to hit Save Grid again. And let's go back to that sample page. Let's take a look. So we're just waiting for it to fill in. And it still has the excerpts, so I don't think it's really refreshed. And that does happen sometimes with it. So often when I'm doing these grids, I have to go clear my cache afterward just to see what the layouts look like. All right, this is going way longer than I anticipated, and I actually have a couple people watching on channel, so hi again, guys. Thanks for stopping by. This was my first test for doing a live stream, and I'm going to sit down and make some notes for myself where we can actually start building some of the custom web pages that I do for my clients. And we'll see about doing some live streams where people can actually do Q&As as we're building these things together. But I don't want to overrun too much. This is my first test today doing a live stream. It looks like it's successfully working, so I'm using Open Broadcaster software, OBS, to do the stream. And then I'm putting up whatever I want to on screen that we can talk about together. In this case, building a page to warehouse all of the web pages for Clark Whalen Builders, which is one of my clients, one of my drone clients, who I provide monthly progression reports to. I think what we'll do after this experience is I'm going to go back through, fix a couple of things on the original pages, and then we'll do an actual walkthrough with this. So this video is probably going to get taken down from YouTube really soon. Because I know it's a little messy and a little too much by the seat of my pants, but we'll get there. All right, with that said, I'm going to close this up because it's actually running toward lunchtime, and my phone has been blowing up while I'm doing this recording. Fortunately, I've got it on silent so you didn't hear it ringing over and over again. I want to say thank you to everyone who stopped by to take a look at this. This is a learning experience for me, and I think this could be really interesting and helpful to other drone pilots who are building their businesses and building their online presence to reach out and get their new customers and clients. I've actually had several other folks who subscribe to this channel who've contacted me directly asking if they could use some of the work that we do on the website as examples for their own potential customers, and I've absolutely said yes to that. I'm happy that people are looking at this channel saying, hey, I really like how you lay out these pages for your drone clients. So you're very welcome to tell your potential clients, these are some of the things that we can do when we're building progression reports for your company. So by all means, have them come over, take a look, and adopt whatever, adopt the styles that I'm using for these pages. That is fine by me. I'm not bothered by it at all. Don't reuse my images and things on your own website, but you can absolutely refer your potential customers over here and say to them, this is something that we can provide you. And on the side, I've been helping several subscribers here learn how to set up some of these customized pages for their own clients. All right, I'm going to wrap this one up here. I'm getting really hungry. I started this too late in the day. But I'm going to sit down and make some notes for myself, and then we'll see about doing some live streams where we've got Q&As and things, and we'll announce them beforehand. So this should be interesting. And sorry for running long, but tutorials are always going to run long. And I skipped past way too much stuff while we were doing this. So I need to make a better one, and I am going to guide people through how I built some of these custom pages. So we'll see you on the next live stream or on the next regular video that comes up. I'd like to hear back from you. Let me know if this is something that interests you. If the live streams are interesting, let me know. If they're terrible and I'm terrible at it, go ahead and tell me that too. We'll see you on the next video, everybody. Lunchtime. Hey, ending the stream.